Hi everyone, it's Miss Richardson here. This is lesson 6 of the birds, and we're going to start by thinking about where you would rather be hiding if the birds came for you. I would like you to explain your choice in 50 words or fewer. We've got an abandoned supermarket, a cottage, it's probably a little bit like Nat's, a prison cell, and a school hall. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to explain your choice in 50 words or fewer. If you think this is a little bit easy, or you can think of a better place, then you can write about that, but you must make sure that you justify your ideas. So pause the video for 2 minutes and have a go. We will be doing quite a lot of reading together today. I have recorded the readings, but you will need to read along, so please do have the text in front of you, either online using the link, or you may have already printed out your own copy, which is fantastic. So just make sure you have that in front of you before we get started. So today we're looking at the idea of a siege narrative. Let's read the definition together. A siege is a military operation, usually, in which enemy forces attack or surround a town or building, cutting off essential supplies with the aim of compelling those inside to surrender. Now, we're reading The Birds because it's brilliant and because it's a masterclass in creating tension, but also because you're going to use it as a little bit of a model, and you'll be writing your own siege narrative as your next assessed piece of work. So today's lesson is going to start getting you acquainted with that. We'll start exploring how Daphne du Maurier does that in The Birds. So here is an explanation of the two different types of plot, a quest narrative and a siege narrative. If you're interested in finding out more about this, then in the bottom left of the slide here, there is a link to the original article. But we're going to read this together. Some people say there are only two kinds of plot, a quest narrative and a siege narrative. In the quest narrative, the protagonist goes out to the action. In a siege narrative, the action comes to him or her. A quest provides strong forward action and demands courage and initiative on the part of the protagonist, for example, Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. A siege narrative is more static, and the drama comes from the ability of the protagonist to resist and endure, for example, Helen Dunmore's The Siege. I would like you to summarise now how The Birds is a siege narrative in 30 words or fewer. If you would like a little bit more of a challenge, you can do that task and then think of maybe a few more examples of siege narratives from TV, film, literature, whatever you like. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that, so pause the video and press play again when you're ready. We're now going to read pages 9 to 12 of The Birds. There is a link to that reading on YouTube at the beginning of this PowerPoint. Our focus today is how du Maurier increases tension. So what I'd like you to do is underline anything, description, dialogue, or anything that you find effective. After the reading, we're going to decide on your favourite part of the extract and then write a short summary on why it's effective. I'd expect you to spend around 3 or 4 minutes on that. There's my example at the bottom there. So have a listen to pages 9 to 12 and then spend about 3 or 4 minutes on that task at the end there. Okay, so now we are going to up the pace a little bit. We're going to read pages 12 to 14, and here the tension becomes terror. Again, I would like you to underline any description or dialogue that you find effective. After we've read and considered that, then you'll be comparing two extracts. So really think about how du Maurier is building up a sense of increasing danger. When you've listened and read along up to page 14, press play on the next slide. So here we're thinking about tension versus terror and how du Maurier's writing is crafted to build up that tension and then the terror. So there are some things to consider here. I've given you some ideas along the side. You could be looking maybe at sentence length. For example, here you can see it's very, very long sentences. However, here There are some very, very short sentences. How does that change the feel, the tone of the extract? Think about the dialogue here as well. There's quite a lot of dialogue back and forth in extract 2 between Nat and his daughter Jill. However, in extract 1, there's not that much dialogue, apart from at the end. Nat is pretty much talking to himself. So you could also think about the use of dynamic verbs, the difference between those, the length of paragraphs. I'm going to give you an example of mine now. So you could use these as sentence starters, the pieces in red. In extract 1, Maurier builds tension by, well, I've said it's by withholding information. You might choose something else. Then continue the short comparative paragraph by comparing it to extract 2. The tension becomes terror in extract 2. You could use that as a sentence starter and then give your example as well. Okay, I would expect you to spend about 5 to 6 minutes on that. So press play again when you've finished that task. Okay, so our final piece of reading today is pages 14 to 16, and this is where the danger really increases. And as we read, I want you to think about what du Maurier reveals and what does she keep hidden, and that'll help you with the final task. So once again, go to the link at the beginning of the PowerPoint and listen and read along. So that final line there, they heard the thud of the gannet as it fell. To me, that is far more effective than describing how the gannet looked. And this student here agreed with me. They said it increases the horror. I would like you to think about what extent you agree with that. How much do you agree with that? And write a response of between 50 to 100 words explaining your ideas. This is very similar to the task that we've just done with the Catcher in the Rye text. So, do make sure that you're using the quotation that we've given you there, and that you are analysing it and giving lots of detail about what you think about the effects of that quotation, of the words and the language and the sentence structure that du Maurier has used there. All right, everyone, as always, do submit your work to your teacher the way that they've requested. And thank you very much. Well done for all that reading today. Good job. Bye.